Screams louder.
Hello everyone and welcome to Biology Insights. We are here with the third interesting video lecture of the series Inheritance Biology. Today we will learn one more method used in application of Mendelian principles, the probability method. But before we jump into it, if you are fresher to Mendelian principles or its application, we would suggest you to go through the previous video lectures first. So, brace yourself to get more deeper knowledge of inheritance biology. In previous lecture, we have discussed two methods, Punnett square and Falkline method, which use Mendelian principles to predict the outcome of the next generation. We have already seen that the Falkline method is easier than Punnett, but very time consuming if higher number of genes are involved in hybridization. To ease the prediction work, probability method was designed. To understand it better, let's consider that you toss a coin and ask for heads. What will be the probability of your win in this situation? We know that there are only two possible sides that can be appear after a coin is tossed, that it could be tails or heads, which is your winning side. So we can get the probability by an equation where number of times an event will occur is divided by total number of possible events. So, probability of your winning here is 50%. Now we can understand the definition of it, which says the chances of occurrence of an event is called the event's probability. Remember that when two heterozygous tall pea plants are crossed, the phenotypic ratio of offspring was 3 tall and 1 dwarf. We can calculate the probability of phenotype and genotype of it using the formula shown here. Now that we are familiar with the basic concept of probability, let's see how multiplication and addition rules allow us to predict the outcome of crosses. Consider that you toss a coin and it comes up heads 3 times. What is the chance that the next toss will also be a head? The chance is simply 1 by 2, just like any other toss of the coin. These types of events are called independent events, where current event is independent from the previous one. Here, we follow the multiplication rule. For an example, if you select a card, what is the probability of king from first deck and queen from the second deck? As we have 4 kings in a deck of 52 cards, the probability of king would be 4 by 52. And similarly, probability of queen would also be 4 by 52. So probability of king and queen will be calculated by multiplying them, which will give the answer of 1 by 169. In brief, we can say that when multiple events occur together, we can apply multiplication rule. Let's see a genetic problem. In a cross between plants heterozygous for 4 different genes, each assorting independently, what fraction of progeny will be homozygous for all 4 recessive alleles? To answer this question simply, we will consider one gene at a time. For the first gene, the probability of homozygous recessive alleles will be 1 by 4, as we have seen earlier. It will remain same for all other genes as well. As genes assort independently from each other, we apply multiplication rule here. So the answer will be 1 by 256. Now let's go further and understand the addition rule. Answer this one. If you can select only one card from a deck, what is the probability that the card will be king and queen? Do you think there is any probability of it? No, of course not. It's impossible to have 2 cards at one chance. So, the probability is 0. These type of events are called mutually exclusive events that cannot occur at the same time. So, here the proper question would be, what is the probability that the card will be king or queen? Here we can follow the addition rule. The probability of king would be 4 by 52, and similarly, probability of queen would also be 4 by 52. When we combine those two events, the probability of king or queen would be 2 by 13. Now let's solve this one. In a cross between two heterozygous, what is the probability that an offspring will be homozygous dominant or homozygous recessive genotypes? Using the multiplication rule, the probability of homozygous dominant will be 1 by 64, and for homozygous recessive, it also 1 by 64. Following the addition rule to combine these two events, probability of having homozygous dominant or recessive will be 2 by 64, that is 1 by 32. Now that we have understood both the rules, let's solve one more problem. But this time, we would suggest you to pause the video after the question and solve it by yourself. Suppose that tall plants with violet flowers and inflated pods are crossed to dwarf plants with white flowers and constricted pods. All the F1 plants are tall with violet flowers and inflated pods. If the F1 plants are self-fertilized, what fraction of their offspring are expected to show all three dominant phenotypes? Just the way we learned, we will focus on finding probability of each gene, that will be 1 by 4. Now the question is, which rule should be followed, multiplication or addition? Well, because each gene assorts independently, we will apply the multiplication rule, and the final answer would be 1 by 64. You got that right, don't you? Let's go further. The next one is, what is the probability that it will be heterozygous for all three genes? Just like the previous one, focusing on each gene, the probability of heterozygous gene will be 1 by 2. Here also the genes assort independently, so multiplication rule would be applied, giving the final answer of 1 by 8. Was that easy? Let's look at the next question. What is the probability that it have at least one dominant allele of each gene in the genotype? Now, here there are two possibilities for the plant having at least one dominant allele of each gene. It could be heterozygous or it could be homozygous dominant. Well, we have just calculated the probabilities for both of these genotypes, which was 1 by 8 for heterozygous and 1 by 64 for homozygous dominant. As these are mutually exclusive events, by combining them, addition rule will be followed, and the answer will be 9 by 64. So, did you solve it by yourself? Great! Then we have a bonus question for you as a reward at the summary of the video. But before we go for it, if you like the lecture, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you will be notified whenever new insights of biology are open. In this video lecture, we learn about probability method, which is quicker one to predict the outcome of the next generation. There are two rules of this method. Number one is multiplication rule, which is followed at the occurrence of independent events, which results are not dependent on each other. And the second one is addition rule, which is followed when mutually exclusive events are occurring. Generally, the question where this rule is applied are having keywords like or, at least, and either or, because these words clearly shows that the events are mutually exclusive. Now you get the knowledge of probability method as well as the rules. So, are you ready for the bonus question? Here it is. A plant heterozygous for 3 independent assorting genes is self-fertilized. Among the offspring, predict the frequency of homozygous dominant individuals, homozygous recessive individuals, individuals that are either homozygous dominant or recessive, the heterozygous individuals, and individuals that are not heterozygous for all 3 genes. Share this video to your study partners and solve it together. We are waiting for your answers in the comment box. Let's see who get it all. All the best. See you in the next video lecture.